Mahilig ka bang magbasa? For many people who really love to read, reading can be beneficial to one's well-being. It nourishes the mind and also the spirit. I hear some people say that when they read, it tends to be dry. They can't seem to immerse in what they're reading. And so, reading can sometimes feel like a very cognitive activity, very intellectual. And that works for some people, especially kung nagbabasa ka to learn something new. But I'd like to introduce soulful reading to you. If you are somebody who likes to read, but you want to really immerse in what you are reading, soulful reading can be something that you will enjoy and really find meaningful.
Hi, I'm Joel. I'm a spiritual director, retreat giver, transpersonal psychology practitioner, and self-professed monk. And the world is my monastery.
Paano nga ba ginagawa ang soulful reading? Now, a lot of people call this in different names. Spiritual reading, contemplative reading. Ginagawa rin ito ng iba't ibang mga grupo or mga traditions. Walang isang tamang paraan kung paano ginagawa ang soulful reading. Pero at least for me, in my own practice, I would recommend doing these things. Una is to find a book or an article or any material that's calling your attention. Something that is relevant for you. Something that is very interesting for you. Maraming mga tao ang pumipili ng mga libro dahil ni-recommend ng iba, dahil maganda, sabi ng kaibigan o sabi ng isang expert. Pero ang pinakamagandang unang hakbang sa soulful reading ay yung pagpili ng libro or ng babasahin na meaningful para sa iyo. Hindi para sa ibang tao, kundi para sa iyo mismo. When we do soulful reading, we read naturally. Ibig sabihin, hindi naman kailangan na mabagal na pagbabasa. Hindi rin ibig sabihin na mabilis. Katulad ng when we do contemplative climbing, yung sinasabi natin is to walk naturally. Ganun din sa soulful reading. You read naturally. You can choose a physical book. May mga tao na preferred pa rin yung libro na nahahawakan at nafi-flip nila. Binubuklat. Meron pa nga ako mga kilala na inaamoy muna yung libro before they read them. Meron namang iba na mas gusto yung electronic copies ng mga libro sa phones, sa computer. Hindi masyadong mahalaga kung saan mo binabasa. Ang mahalaga kung ano man yung pipiliin mo, whether it's a hard copy of a book or an electronic copy, it's something that's accessible and that really works for you.
Another important part of doing a soulful reading is to practice presence. After all, we want to have a deeper encounter with what we are reading. One way of becoming present to what you are reading is to pay attention to words or phrases that jump out. What do I mean by that? When you read, you probably encounter some words or phrases that call your attention. At this point, you don't have to analyze or assign meaning to any of those words, but just pay attention to them. You can highlight, take note, and let them touch you. Resist any temptation to intellectualize or to have a really beautiful insight out of that word or phrase. Just let it be. Acknowledge that they're calling your attention. For example, I'm now reading a book called Eyes Wide Open. cultivating discernment on the spiritual path. And I came across this quote: "You can use the light of an experience to see your darkness. The light you receive mixes with your own darkness, and then it is not light anymore, but neither is the darkness so dark anymore. Your being is transformed." Sometimes you get caught up with a really meaningful and relevant paragraph, such as that one that I've read. There is no pressure to finish the book or to read very quickly. It's about letting the words speak to you. And in that paragraph, the word light and darkness really called my attention. At this stage of soulful reading, what I can do is to take note of those words. I can highlight them or write them in my notebook, whatever works for me. And then after doing that, I can spend some time contemplating on those words. One of the questions I can ask myself is, what feelings came to me when I read those words? Nung nabasa ko yung words na light and darkness, ano yung naramdaman ko? How did I feel those words in my body? And then if I'm ready, maybe I can also ask myself, ano kaya ang ibig sabihin nitong mga salitang ito sa buhay ko, right here, right now, in my own unique context? There can be a lot of distractions while reading. That's why it's very important to be intentional about setting aside time to read. Sometimes when we do soulful reading, we can experience some moments when we feel like there's nothing happening. The words are just words and they're not speaking to us. It's good to check your disposition when that happens. Am I really present in what I'm doing? Perhaps there are some thoughts going in your mind that's keeping you from immersing in your reading material. Maybe you are feeling some intense emotions at that time. It's good to check your intentions. Am I forcing myself to do it? Am I trying so hard to read and get meaning out of what I'm reading? Sometimes it's tempting to expect that something is going to happen when we read. And so we try to find the words instead of letting the words find us. Taking note and reflecting on the words that strike you is a good way to practice presence in a soulful reading. It allows you to go beyond your intellectual understanding of what you have read and start going deep into what it really means for you. For those who prefer to read alone, they can just go through the material and reflect on the words that are striking for them. But for those who are looking for companions as they read, find a small group who can journey with you as you go through a book. It's good to meet every once in a while and just engage in a spiritual conversation. You're able to share your experience of reading the book, what's arising in you, the feelings and the thoughts and the meaning that you get from that book. Engaging in a spiritual conversation with a small group is a good way to further deepen your encounter with the material.